So originally I did kind of a rant when I first discovered this story, but I'm actually going to make things as simple as possible because I think it's more important that somebody clicks on a short video and finds out that this is happening than they necessarily hear essentially everything I have to say on the matter. China is now interning the Tibetans. They're claiming 500,000 people, and they're saying mostly subsistence farmers, and they're there to re-educate them out of their backwards ways. We know what that means. This is stage 2 of essentially the grander plans China has for their, unity. They're trying to eliminate lazy people, as they say it. Xi Jinping has basically, one of the things he declared is that he was going to eliminate poverty out of China within a year. Suddenly, 1 million people disappearing in Wuhan off the cell phone roll suddenly makes sense. The Uyghurs are gone. The ones that are still left have been basically auctioned off as wives or completely re-educated, and then the ones that survived fled to basically Turkmenistan. The world watched as these people were chopped up and their organs were harvested, and their entire ethnic religious group was just completely annihilated by China, by the Chinese state. Now they're doing this to the people of Tibet. Could you imagine trying to intern 500,000 people for anything? Could you imagine trying to get 500,000 people to show up to to an event or something, like show up to one place? People who are unwilling to do that, do you have any idea how much power you have to violently coerce 500,000 people at once at minimum into labor camps, which are, re-education. I mean, it's a death camp if you don't convert or basically submit to the brainwashing. You don't survive that. So I could go on about this, but look this up for yourself. This has already started, and we're just now getting word of it. Explain some things about basically a Chinese spy in New York who they arrested the other day. He's keeping an eye on the Tibetan community. That did make me raise an eyebrow, like, why the hell do they give a shit about that, right? Well, it's because they're trying to contain the amount of information coming out. Reuters, BBC picked it up, and we know that they're, not exactly super reliable sources. My indication from reading this is that it's actually worse than what they're even saying. Yeah, they're assimilating ethnic minorities. This is bad. This is really bad. And we're going to watch it happen. And eventually it's going to happen in Hong Kong. And eventually it's going to happen anywhere the Chinese want to take over. This is how they're going to do it. This is how they operate. So say goodbye to your Tibetan culture and your Buddhist monks and all that stuff. China's making the move. They're crushing them. Pay attention. Pay attention. Follow this story. Follow this story. Because this might be the last you're going to hear about these people.